Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the podcast. Did you miss me? This shit was supposed to be up on Halloween night, bruh. I am disappointed. This shit was, you could probably hear it in my voice. This shit was supposed to be up on Halloween night, man. The same on Sunday, bro. But I was sick as shit, bro. I'm still a little bit sick right now, but I'm good now. But I was way too fucking sick on Sunday and Monday to be able to drop something. I even tried. I tried. Couldn't do it. Could not do it. They're the sniffle right there, the first of many, most likely. I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum, though. But welcome back. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? Welcome back to the Kickin' It with Saint podcast. On the other video, I noticed I fucked that title up, man. I probably done it a couple times, man. We're going to get into a habit. I don't even know why I be fucking that shit up, man. But, listen, I want to start this episode off by, sending up a prayer for the young lady's family who lost their life in the Henry Ruggs crash. Don't know all the facts about that. I just heard what everybody else heard. He hit the back of a car. It engulfed in flames. The woman in the car died. That's a sad scene, sad news. If it's true, he could be serving some time, which would immediately fuck up his NFL career off of a bad decision to drink and drive or to be impaired while driving, especially when you're in the NFL and got so many different sources to get home, bro. Like, you're rich now. The NFLPA, I think, offer like a shuttle service too for all the teams and shit. So really no excuse for drinking and driving, and that should be a lesson to people. But sending up major prayers to that family. But yo, welcome back. Gotta go ahead and do the pre-show ritual to start off the show. Gotta take a hit. Lot of shit to talk about. So, we're gonna get in it. Listen, I'm probably not gonna be able to cover some of these shits as in depth as I was going to on Sunday, because I didn't go back and rewatch the games that I watched on Sunday. I even watched some of the clips on YouTube with some of these games that I didn't watch. Like, I realized something. In the beginning of the season, I was watching teams like the fucking Jets and the Jags and, teams like that, the Texans sometimes. When you get at this part of the season, week 8 in the season, it's no fucking shot that I'm watching any of them teams just by choice. There's no shot. I only watched the Jets this week because they was playing against the Bengals, and I had a vested interest in that. On a normal Sunday, though, I could care less about those teams playing. Like, it's going to be hard. So the in-depth breakdowns on that I was having early in the season about Trevor Lawrence and all those, those are going to cease to exist very shortly. Excuse me. Unless one of those players have like some crazy breakout game like Mike White had for the Jets, gonna be few and far between when we talk about those teams, because they ain't even in the playoff race no more. Now we're getting into the part of the season where a lot of big games with a lot of importance. The Jaguars ain't playing in a lot of games of importance. That's got to be the roughest thing for a lot of these teams, man. Going into like week 8 and your season already over. Texans. Like I said multiple times on the podcast, man, the Texans are in this situation because of the Texans. They're going to brainwash fans and people who just don't know. They're going to believe whatever the team wants you to believe, and you're going to think that Deshaun Watson fucked up your season, but that is not the case. But let's get into the first game, the Monday Night Football game against the Giants. The Giants and the Chiefs, man. Boy. So I picked the Chiefs to win this game, but I picked the Chiefs to win this game because I don't have any type of faith in Daniel Jones. And this actually brings me to a bigger point, because I was talking to one of my somebody I follow on Twitter, and basically we was just having a conversation about some gnat was trying to get my attention in the conversation. I ignore him every single time. while having a conversation with my the other dude I was talking to. My dude was just a gnat. He kept saying shit trying to get my attention, but we was talking about the Titans, and because I was basically like, yo, people saying that the Titans season is over just because Derrick Henry got hurt, but these motherfuckers got Julio and AJ Brown. Like, their season is not over yet, and they in the top of their division. And bro was like, basically like their season was pretty much over because Derrick Henry the best player on the team, and I basically was like, that's nah. If your best player, if your season is over because your running back got hurt, your team not built right, for one. Because in 2021, you can't win a championship with a running back being your best player. And that led to the conversation basically. He was like, so you basically saying that you can't win a championship with a running game or something like that? Like, I got to go back and relook at the tweets to get them word for word. But if you follow me on Twitter, if you go to my Twitter, you could probably easily find it. But I basically had to tell him, like, nah, I'm not saying you can't win games or be good with a good running game, but I'm saying that it's going to be very hard to have a great running game. If a running game is the best thing your team do, like if you look at a team and the best thing they do is run the ball, like the Giants, or and the Giants not even good at it because Saquon always hurt. If you look at Tennessee or the Ravens, that's how you know I'm not being biased because I'm a Ravens fan. You look at the last couple years, Tennessee, Baltimore, Cleveland, great running teams, right? Haven't been that great in the passing game, haven't won championships. The teams that have won championships can run the ball or they can't run the ball. It's not a big option. It's optional, actually. Either they can or can't, doesn't matter because the quarterback play and the defense done came through. You look at the Bucks winning the Super Bowl. Tom Brady played great. The defense played great. When the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, quarterback played great. Defense came through in the end and played great. The last couple champions been winning because of defense and the quarterback, not because of the running game. Like, I hate to say that to people who love the running game and all that type of shit, and I know that's something you don't want to hear because we was raised to believe run the ball. But that's just not how it is nowadays. You look at Baltimore. Baltimore's offense is great this year because they throw the ball more. I mean, I know y'all done seen Mark Andrews on leading the tight end stats and all that. It's because they throw the ball now. Now, listen, I would love for Baltimore to be able to run the ball again with a running back, not having to run it with Lamar all the time. But the reality is Baltimore is at its best when it's throwing the ball this year. I even got to the point where I get irritated when they even waste plays handing the ball off to running backs who we know about to get stuffed in the backfield. It just is what it is. Now, a lot of these other teams, now see what's hurting Baltimore sometimes on offense that don't hurt some of these other teams is they, instead of running the ball, they incorporate like a screen game, like where they run a lot of screens and checkdowns and shit, and they got players who can pick up big yards after that. That's what you use when you don't run the ball a lot. So Tampa Bay, you might see them run that type shit a couple times, or and Tom Brady good at the check down and shit. So even though Tom Brady do throw the ball down the field now that he with Tampa, he can always go back to that well of check downs when their running game not working. Even though Lenny been balling for them, I think. But that's just something that you great teams who don't run the ball great do. Like you see the Chiefs do it all the time. They run hella screen. And this shit, Monday night, Patrick Mahomes only had 2 throws, I believe, that went for 10 yards or more. Like, it was check down, screenplay central, bro. Like, and every time I see games like this, I'm forced to remember that somebody, an anonymous GM, said the Ravens run a high school offense. So I'm just so confused on what's considered to be high-level offenses nowadays because this Sunday had a lot of check down gameplay. Like, let's hop to the Jets and the Bengals real fast. We're going to make our way back to this Chiefs game. But let's go to the Bengals game for a second. So, the Bengals ended up losing to the Jets in the comeback by the Jets. The Jets, Mike White threw for 400 fucking yards. If you look at the game, he probably made, 1 or 2 or 3 great throws, like really great throws throughout the game, like probably 2 or 3. Other than that, it was a lot of 8 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards, and dudes picking up a whole bunch of yards. I done came to the realization we give quarterbacks way too much credit for some of these yards that they get, especially when you look at some of these games and notice how much they check the ball down or run routes that don't even go past 5-10 yards. Like, I said it Monday or the Thursday night game with the fucking Packers and the Cardinals. It was a lot of checkdowns in that game. A lot of checkdowns. But we don't say that about that. It's crazy. But hold up, y'all. Yo, this is gonna be like a jump cut with this pick back up. I don't know where it's. I don't even remember what I was talking about. What I left off. I had to go run and do something, and I stopped the recording. Now I re-picked up the recording. I could have just restarted the entire podcast and all that. Not gonna do that. So I don't remember what we was talking about, but we gonna head back to the fucking Kansas City game, and then I'll make my way off of that. I know I had went to the. I probably was talking Cincinnati because I was talking. I know I had said something about Mike White not really making, like, he probably made 2 or 3 big throws. Other than that, it was just a lot of, I don't want to say checkdowns, but it was a lot of. It wasn't really, deep crossing route. It wasn't really routes that was really testing the defense up the field and shit like that. And listen, I'm not saying that a quarterback's got to go out there and throw for, 400 yards or throw the ball 20 yards up the field every fucking play. That's just definitely not what I'm saying. But I get tired of seeing these quarterbacks who we give so much credit to, who really just checking the ball down. I remember I was talking about the Cardinals and the Packers on Thursday night when they had did a lot of that. Like, that's all I'm saying. We don't give some of these players enough credit for all this yak that they get. But whatever. The Jets ended up winning that game because of some big throws by Mike White, some great run after the catch by some by some of the players, and some great running plays. Listen, I done told you, the Jets defense is not bad. The problem is the Jets turn the ball over a lot. Sam Darnold. Zach Wilson turned the ball over a lot. Now, this was interesting. I was hearing people say that this might be a quarterback competition or whatever between Mike White and Zach Wilson. That's cap. It's no shot that you draft Zach Wilson that high and you know what? Nah, it's no shot, bro. To me, you don't draft Zach Wilson this high and then you immediately throw him into a QB competition with Mike White, who's another rookie. Now, the Jets could end up fucking up the team and doing what the Redskins, that's what they used to be called. But the Washington no-name football team, back when they was called the Redskins, they had Kirk Cousins and RG3. And they had like a quarterback problem there, but I know RG3 got hurt because of the Lohinata tackle, and then when he was trying to play again, they kept, whatever the problem was over there, you don't want to have that problem here. But I mean, this was crazy. This is what's interesting to me. So you got the people saying that, oh, it might be a quarterback competition, blah blah blah, because Zach Wilson haven't put no good games on his resume yet, blah blah blah. And then you could bring up the Redskins, the Washington football situation, or you could even bring up the Cardinals when they had drafted Josh Rosen, got rid of him after a year to get Kyler Murray. But to me, this is really not the same situation, because Kyler Murray clearly was a better quarterback and prospect than Josh Rosen. You can't say Mike White is that. Now, what I will say is this. Mike White did what you wish Zach Wilson would do in most of these, because the 2 picks he threw wasn't really his fault. Even though we see on a weekly basis these quarterbacks get picked off when these balls get tipped, and most of the time it's these short routes that's getting tipped and shit, because bad timing, dudes coming out of their break and not expecting the ball to come at him at that type of time. Like, it was Monday, the Giants, bro. I was paying attention. This dude, Daniel Jones, I already don't think Daniel Jones is that dude. But this dude, when he throwing off, or like when the timing is off and shit like that, when he scramble outside the pocket, this dude's atrocious, bro. He's very inaccurate when he's trying to. I don't want to say when he go off script and shit like that, like I be saying about Jared Goff. Cause I just want to. How do I want to describe it? Like when the play break down and shit like that. man, just when this motherfucker can't make a comfortable throw, bro. He is very inaccurate. Like, balls was damn near hitting the ground and shit like that. And they was blaming a lot of the Giants players for that. And I expect that they will blame a lot of the Giants for not catching some of these balls and shit like this. But if you looking at a lot of these throws Daniel Jones made on Monday night, bro, a lot of these balls shouldn't have been caught because it's bad timing, off rhythm, underthrows, overthrows, damn near hitting the ground, like I said on some throws. Like, it's crazy the excuses we give for quarterbacks and the expectations we put on. Like, I'm listening to Skip Bayless on Undisputed yell at the top of his lungs defending Baker Mayfield, and I'm listening to Emmanuel Acho defend Baker Mayfield, and this shit's just crazy because, bro, Odell has been great in the league. Baker hasn't. But for some reason, they keep giving Baker the benefit of the doubt, even though Pro Football Focus, the Bible that they live by, has said Odell has 2 drops this year. Like, the motherfucker's not. And what's crazy to me is motherfuckers keep saying, because I know we hopping around now, but that's what this podcast does. But listen, I know this is what's wild to me. And I've been saying this for a minute. Like, if you've been following me, listening to the podcast, follow me on Twitter. Either way, I've been saying this for a minute. Baker got y'all motherfuckers fooled, bro. This dude was the first pick in the draft. Is not held to first pick. Do you understand what the first pick in the draft means? That all the rounds in the draft, all the players that is picked, the very first one chosen was Baker Mayfield. You do not draft a quarterback. You don't draft a player with the first pick in the draft and not expect them to be a game changer, a franchise changer. Like, it's crazy that how the expectations that they hold Baker to is unbelievably low for a dude that was drafted at his position. That's one. 2, continuing the Baker got y'all fooled, bruh. Odell Beckham has been great in the NFL. Baker hasn't, but for some reason people want to keep giving him the benefit of the doubt. If you go and watch these games, this motherfucker is clearly overthrowing Odell, underthrowing Odell, not throwing it to him at all when he opened. But y'all keep blaming Odell. He got y'all fooled thinking Odell trash, like this man just suddenly forgot how to be a receiver, like he suddenly forgot how to run routes, how to catch balls. That's absurd to me. You wouldn't, bruh. Go give Aaron Rodgers Odell Beckham, Josh Allen Odell Beckham, because y'all, let me tell y'all what y'all did. These brainwashed fans and these ridiculous fans try to tell me that fucking Stephon Diggs really wasn't that great. Vikings fans try to tell us that Stephon wasn't that great. He was a crybaby. He was a diva. Shit that y'all wouldn't call these dudes to their face. That y'all was calling them online because the media done got y'all brainwashing to calling these grown men divas because they do what everybody else do in their everyday life, try to get things to their liking and shit. But that's neither here nor there. That's just more dehumanization of athletes that you psycho fans continue to do. But like I said, neither here nor there. But y'all try to convince us that y'all try to convince us smart fans that are actually fans of the players. Y'all tried to convince us that fucking Stephon Diggs was not a good receiver. He was a diva. He was not better than Adam Thielen, blah, blah, blah. He got to Buffalo and went stupid with a good quarterback, with a team that wanted him, that was going to build around him, that didn't make him play second fiddle to a running back and to, like, you see what I'm saying? Y'all tried to convince us that AB was trash because for some reason y'all love Big Ben so much. He ain't been to the Super Bowl since when and how long? Y'all tried to convince us for so long that AB was the problem. All I know is he got to, now that he with Brady, that they just win. Haven't heard anything from him. Maybe he just got tired of Big Ben, like all the receivers that's there. But like I said, y'all go at all the receivers that done went with Big Ben. Y'all took Big Ben's side over all them receivers. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Baker got y'all fooled, bruh. Now I'm looking at people try to say, like this bozo Dan Orlovsky, bro, who was only hired to defend white mediocre quarterbacks and white average quarterbacks at this point. Because this dude talking about all Baker's players let him down. Man, motherfucker, what about all these weeks where Baker let all his all-star, all-pro players down? Like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Like, this shouldn't even be one of them situations where quarterback get too much credit, quarterback get too much blame. Baker Mayfield is obviously, clearly the weakest link on that team. Them motherfuckers haven't even been able to put up 20 plus points in the last, 5 weeks? They offensively challenged with all that weaponry and all those great players on the offense. The weakest link is Baker Mayfield, but we keep making excuses for everything. And that's the problem when you got quarterbacks that's as bad as Baker Mayfield and a team full of great players. Because eventually when them great players start to get banged up and bruised up and start to struggle a little bit, have a little off game here and there, you're going to start blaming them players and holding them way more accountable than you hold Baker Mayfield, which is what's currently happening. The media, all the Cleveland fans, oh, we haven't been this good since Baker. Yeah, whatever. And a lot of y'all watch the Pat McAfee show. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all watch the Pat McAfee show. A lot of y'all Cleveland fans. So y'all even listen to him blow smoke up y'all asses when he said, oh, well, Cleveland haven't been this good since Baker. Like I keep saying, Baker and Cleveland turnaround came coincidentally when Nick Chubb got there, Baker got there, Odell got there, Landry got there. Kareem Hunt got there, Stefanski got there. Like, can we stop stunting like that shit? Like, motherfuckers wasn't a playoff team. Y'all kept blowing smoke up everybody's ass saying y'all was supposed to be a playoff team, but you only made it once. Okay? And last year you almost didn't make it then because of how you fell down the stretch. So, like, this shit where y'all keep trying to tell regular normal fans they can see what's going on. And the shit that's so funny to me is us normal fans who have no, like, play in the matter. Like, we have no coins in the matter. Because I want the Browns to re-sign Baker Mayfield. That would be phenomenal for Baltimore fans if he stayed in Cleveland for the next couple years. Because I know Cleveland not winning with Baker Mayfield. But us normal fans who trying to help y'all out, tell y'all that Baker the problem. Y'all get mad at us and call us crazy names and say all this stupid shit. Like, I saw something on Twitter the other day where a Cleveland fan was like, we got nicknames for all the teams in the division. It was like Ratbirds and all these other nicknames. And I was like, what? No. Cleveland fans have nicknames for all the team in the division because your fucking team is trash. Even the Bengals was a playoff team this decade. Cleveland is the only sorry-ass team in our division that has the time with they bum-ass fans to continuously make up these stupid-ass names. Bro, what is a Ratbird? Like, some of the nicknames they have for the Bugles, the Bugles, like, what? Like, bro, only the fucking Browns. Bro, the Browns is the Browns, bro. It is what it is. That is the trashiest team in the division. If you've been listening to me all year, I said that they probably would end up last in the division because I think they got the worst quarterback in the division, and that's with Big Ben in the decline and playing as bad as he played. He can't throw the ball longer than a couple yards. He checked down all the time, too. They want to rely heavily on Najee Harris, who is starting to come around now. But, bro, it's just no. And that's who the Browns lost to this Sunday. In that game, listen, they couldn't beat an offensively challenged Steelers team. I'm supposed to expect them to beat the Bengals and the Ravens. And Cleveland fans blame like I said, Cleveland fans, Baker got y'all fooled, bro. Y'all motherfuckers blaming the defense now. Odell, Jarvis, and his fun. Y'all hate Jarvis now. Jarvis the one who been making Baker look average for all these years. Like, y'all motherfuckers is blaming everybody but Baker, which is strange because y'all got the best offensive line in football. Austin Hooper, I bet you he wish he had stayed and re-signed with the Falcons now. Now, it's not going to happen. It couldn't happen because they had went out and got other guys, and then they made the signing in the draft, obviously, for a dude who had 2 catches this weekend. But that's neither here nor there. Signing tight ends when you got bigger needs on the defense and everywhere else. But, hey, Falcons is the Falcons at this point. But it's just, hey, Baker got y'all fooled, bruh. Austin Hooper, like I said, I bet you he wish he was still with the Falcons getting Matt Ryan throwing him the ball. Even though Matt Ryan looked like shit Sunday. I bet you Jarvis Landry could be using a Tua Tagovailoa right now. Like, y'all just give Baker all these excuses, bruh. And where is it getting you, bruh? You couldn't beat you barely beat the Broncos. You couldn't beat the Steelers, which I said a couple episodes ago on the podcast before I was nailing everything down in the podcast and getting the slides and shit together. Back when I was just had a black screen, I said then that it was gonna be hard for the Browns to beat the Steelers at this point, because even though the Steelers not playing great, the Browns, like, how could I trust Baker Mayfield? And this is a team that could have easily beat the Steelers with a running game last year, that you would have thought could have dominated the Steelers with a running game even earlier in the year. Not anymore. And then people keep making this, oh, Baker's labrum and all, he hurt. Bro, make up your mind, bro. Either he too hurt to play, or he playing, because everybody play with injuries. Everybody play nicked up. Everybody play hurt, bro. Except for J.J. Watt and Clay Matthews. But other than that, everybody else play banged up. So I'm not trying to hear that shit, bro. Not trying to hear that shit. Y'all get this man an excuse for everything, bro. And I got to sneeze, so excuse me. Y'all get this man an excuse for everything, man. And it's crazy to me. It's just crazy to me, bro. And it just further proves my point that I was telling the dude on Twitter today. Like, running teams don't win Super Bowls, bro. Because the Cleveland Browns are a running team. They'll never be a passing team with Baker Mayfield. And like I said, if Cleveland fans could just shut the fuck up for a second and stop being so caught up in their emotions and their feelings to realize Baker Mayfield is holding us back. I done already played fantasy draft for you and put multiple great quarterbacks in there. I even done, like I said, done been going at on Twitter for motherfuckers telling me, oh, Lamar and Josh Allen wouldn't be good at it. Alright, bro. You keep capping for Baker and your team gonna continue to remain where they at. So, with that being said, the Steelers beat the Bengals this weekend, and the Jets ended up coming back and beating the Bengals this weekend. You see how I hit the AFC North like that? Like, boom, boom, boom. And it was all just because I was hitting off points in that Chiefs game, which we finna head right back into. Daniel Jones is not that guy. And then I'm going to tell you what's funny. The Chiefs started off the game with Patrick Mahomes getting down the field on the dink and dunk and shit, and doing some bozo shit. It's like he can't help it. He can't help it. Patrick Mahomes cannot help but throw stupid passes at this moment. He jumped up through a crazy pass. Some people say he should have caught the pass. No, he shouldn't have. The pass shouldn't have been thrown. And it really feel like because Patrick only had one pick in this game, and they struggled to beat the Giants, which really opened my eyes to how bad the Chiefs are right now. Because the Giants are a bad team, and the Chiefs are pretty bad at this point, because they should have lost that game. Pat Mahomes could have had 3 interceptions in this game. What's funny is the only other dude who really competing to try to throw as bad at interceptions as him, probably 2 dudes. Matt Ryan's on occasions try to throw as bad at interceptions. I mean, he looked bad against Carolina. It's like I keep saying, man, Matt Ryan, I said it earlier that this was the thing. The Falcons are not going to be a good team. Neither are the Panthers. But somebody got to get that last spot in the NFC wild card, right? And the Falcons could have been that squad because of how bad the Eagles in that division playing, with the Cowboys being the only good team in that division. With how the one division where most teams would come out of, where 3 teams usually would come out of, with the Cardinals and all those things. Only 2 teams coming out of that division. The Seahawks and the 49ers probably not making the playoffs this year with how bad they done started. All the Falcons got to do is beat these bad teams and these mediocre teams, bro. And they can't fucking do it, bro. Sam Darnold was bad Sunday. And Matt Ryan was worse, basically. Like, Matt Ryan, it done got to the point where, like I done said multiple times about all the great receivers that Matt Ryan done played with. And if you really make a list of quarterbacks and they receivers, bro, Matt Ryan probably would be on the list of one of the quarterbacks who had a shit ton of great receivers and just ain't do shit with them. Wasn't a perennial playoff contender. And when I'm looking at the teams in their division, the Bucks was never really that great while he was over there. The Saints were good, but they even had years where they were not playoff contending teams. The Panthers was a good team most of every year when they had Cam Newton until he got hurt at the end of his career there. The Falcons they had Julio, Roddy White. Like, I'm not even going to keep going over all the fucking receivers that Matt Ryan had. Tony Gonzalez. Like, bruh, Matt Ryan is getting to the point where maybe because he done got to a Super Bowl, so I can't say he done the less with the most like Baker, but that motherfucker getting into some scary territories where, is he a Hall of Famer truly, bro? Because I know he don't want an MVP. And listen, I know they're going to put Matt Ryan in the Hall of Fame. He shouldn't be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I know they're going to put Matt Ryan in the Hall of Fame. But when you really look at the totality of his career, you take away, listen, you played with Julio, who was the best receiver in the league for a long time. But, and to an extent, I could say he was a little bit better than Stafford while Stafford was in Detroit, because, I mean, the Falcons had a bad defense for a lot of years with the I mean, Matt Ryan had a bad defense with the Falcons for a lot of years, but their offense was the best part, like, per se, to Detroit. And I'm basically just comparing Matt Ryan with Julio and Stafford with Megatron. They both was really the same quarterback when it come to they just throw the ball to that person all the time. Now, when bruh had Gonzalez, that was probably the best that offense has ever looked when it had Tony Gonzalez and Julio and all those other dudes, because that was a more spread out. You know, he spread the ball around more. They ran the ball good. Now, it had become, well, recently when they had Julio, it just became throw it to Julio, throw it to Julio, throw it. I don't care how many people on him, throw it to Julio. That's what it was for for Stafford. Throw it to Calvin, throw it to Calvin, throw it to Calvin, throw it to Calvin. I don't care how many people on it, throw it to Calvin. I saw a fucking play the other day of Calvin catching the touchdown over 3 people. I mean, that's just what the offense became. And anytime that become your offense, that's not a remedy for success. And so the fucking Falcons lose to the Panthers again, the team that they should have beat. The Panthers didn't look good. They didn't look good. But you would say to yourself, the Falcons should have a better offense, right? Like, they got the better quarterback, I would say, between Darnold and Ryan, but some reason Ryan just don't rise to the occasion no more, bro. The Matty Ice shit, and I saw a commercial with that motherfucker in it the other day. He was in it along with, I think, either Ice Cube or Ice T. It was one of them, but Matt Ryan ain't getting it done no more. And I appreciate Atlanta not booing him, because like I said, I'm one of the biggest people who hate when fans boo their own players and shit like that. But man, I haven't even heard it gotten loud on Twitter yet about Matt Ryan possibly needing to be, traded or whatnot. So, I don't know, man. It's real strange that they let Matt Ryan go out there and stink it up and then put up all these empty calorie yards and shit to keep it. I don't know, man. I think they should have been in the market for a quarterback, trying to find a new quarterback. They saying that it ain't no good quarterbacks in the draft coming up, but you know how I feel about that. You can't listen to these bozo ass analysts. They get it wrong all the time. They said Lamar Jackson should have been a receiver. So can't listen to these bozo analysts. But we covered that Panther game. Panthers won that game. Panthers are still cursed. I just want y'all to know that. Just because I didn't hit on y'all a whole bunch for winning that game, man. Sam Darnold is still not that guy. The Panthers are still looking for a quarterback. And listen, you better hope they find it. Matt Rule better hope he find a quarterback before they start thinking it's you to answer. Now, I wouldn't fire Matt Rule yet. I wouldn't even hold him accountable for these first 2 years unless he specifically said, let's go get Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater. If Matt Rule specifically said, let's go get both of them two dudes, yeah, then he takes blame in this shit too, because it's no fucking way you see both of them quarterbacks over their career and think that it was just all on everybody else. Like, that's to me ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous. But Panthers still cursed. Panthers still fucking suck. But between the Falcons and the Panthers, you sucked a little bit less than the Falcons did this weekend. So the Panthers could still possibly pick up that last wild card spot if, and I'm still saying if, because the Seahawks picked up a win this weekend against a trash ass Jags, which they needed, and the fucking Bears, the Bears lost to the 49ers this weekend, but either one of them two teams winning could still fuck up the Panthers. So, and I think both of them teams better than the except for the Seahawks is the one that when Russ get healthy, you better hope you got as many wins as you could get while he was hurt. Because listen, I don't care how bad they was playing when he was hurt, Russell Wilson still gonna get wins for his team. So, and I'm definitely not gonna bank on fucking Sam Darnold over Russell Wilson when he get healthy. So Panthers better start piling up the wins against these bad teams like they was earlier. And this was a Sunday that they did it, but they are still cursing. They still fucking suck. But going back to the Monday night game, you see how I'm working all these motherfucking games off of the fucking Monday night game? I just randomly did that in my head, bro. It wasn't even something that I had planned on doing, bro. I just randomly thought about it. But going back to this Monday night game, I said that it was only 2 quarterbacks that's really trying to turn the ball over as much as Patty Mahomes. And Matt Ryan really wasn't the dude I was meant, because it was really only one. And that would be none other than Carson Wentz. What the fuck is wrong with this dude, man? Listen, I know I had saw a stat that said Carson Wentz hadn't thrown an interception or turned the ball over in the last like 5 games or some shit like that. And that was the longest he had gone in his career. But if you really look at the stats, he could have turned the ball over a bunch of times the last couple weeks if motherfuckers just catch the ball. Much like the Patrick Mahomes over the last couple of years. If motherfuckers catch the ball, it'll be a completely different conversation. But, Carson Wentz is an addict, man. He's addicted to doing crazy shit. You cannot. So I'm pretty sure if you saw the game, bro, you saw the interception he threw towards the end of that game. You just can't do that. And this was crazy about Carson because he throw that interception where he switch it out of his right hand, put it in his left hand, and just throw up a fucking just moronic throw. Like he done in every single game this year. They just don't get caught for some reason. But then after that, he make that stupid ass play and then turn around the next drive and make crazy plays. Like bruh, I don't get it with Carson Wentz, bro. He don't beat good teams. That's been well documented. So I had figured that they was going to eventually lose this game. I'm pretty sure I picked the Colts to lose this game. But it's just the way that this motherfucker lost. They should have won. Because Tannehill wasn't that great either. And I'm starting to realize Tannehill. Listen, I already knew Tannehill wasn't it. I knew that the play calling and the running game really helped him out. That's what happens when you call a lot of play action. That's based off of a great run game. But he didn't look good Sunday. And so you would think with a player like Carson Wentz, who we expect to be great, and he is great against bad teams. But damn, man. Like, the pick that he had to basically lose in the game was stupid too, because that's a bad throw in the double coverage and shit. Like, I don't get it. I definitely think that was the Colts season. Derrick Henry didn't even have a great game. Mind you, Derrick Henry out for the season. He just had foot surgery. So it's even crazy because if you win this game, you go into the next couple weeks knowing that Derrick Henry not going to be there for the Titans. They just signed AP. So, and I was just talking about AP on this podcast a couple weeks ago, I believe. But to me, the Colts, man, is just... Like, the stats will tell you Carson hadn't turned the ball over in a couple weeks. But if you watch the games, you clearly see he probably should have had 3 interceptions in every single one of the last games he done played. Like, it's really crazy because you see a lot of quarterbacks do it, specifically Mahomes and Wentz, where they just think they can they want to make the Superman play every single play, bro. And that's a recipe for disaster, bro. You can't have it. And them motherfuckers do that shit all the time. And for Pat Mahomes, bro, getting back to the Monday night game, for Pat Mahomes, it's pretty crazy because he won a Super Bowl. So when you win a Super Bowl doing that shit, can't nobody tell you nothing. And now, I think I heard Louis Rick say on 40% of their offensive drives end in turnovers. What the hell? And they even turned the ball over a lot tonight. Pat Mahomes fumbled the ball. He got it back, threw an interception. He threw another interception that should have been an interception, but they got a pre-snap penalty saved him. And then you had Travis Kelce fumble the ball. Travis Kelce done become non-existent. I'm telling you, I know these defenders love hitting that man. I'm telling you, man, defenders don't forget all the shit that you talk. They don't forget you being happy about your accomplishments and shit. It's funny how it works, bro. Defenders don't forget none of that shit. They don't forget the peace signs and all that type of shit. But listen, and it's funny talking about the Chiefs winning this game because they could have lost it if it was against any other good quarterback not named Daniel Jones, bro. Like, Daniel Jones in this game, bro. I don't know how the Giants deserve what happened. Listen, that draft, if you really looking at it, I can't even think of the good quarterback that was in that draft because, I mean, you look at Haskins wasn't a good quarterback. He was worse than Daniel Jones probably. And then you got Daniel Jones. Oh, and as I'm doing this, the Braves just won the World Series. They dominated the Astros 7-0. So congratulations to the Atlanta Braves. And now speaking of the Atlanta Braves, because we finna hop off, because the sidebar say we talking baseball today. So we is finna kick on baseball real fast. I'm a Philly fan. The Braves is in our division. We had a lead in this division multiple times in the season. At the trade deadline, we chose not to get aggressive at the trade deadline and make big trades. You want to know what the Braves went and fucking did? They got Jorge Soler, Eddie Rosario, mind you, one of the best players in baseball Ronald Acuna Jr., if you don't watch baseball, he is one of the best players in baseball. He played for the Braves. He done been out since the All-Star break, basically, before that, when a torn ACL or Achilles. These motherfuckers still make one of the best first basemen in baseball, Freddie Freeman. Really haven't been all that throughout the last couple months for him. This team has so many great bats. They went out and traded for Jock Peterson. Excuse me, a guy with World Series credentials with the Dodgers. Like, the Braves went out and made every big move and smart trades you could possibly make to help improve that team. Yet you got the fucking Phillies, who in the same fucking division, over here doing nothing to help Bryce Harper, bruh. Nothing. When the offseason come around, I guarantee you're not going to hear a lot of big names going over to the Phillies to help Bryce Harper. But like, the Phillies offense in the second half of the season was Bryce Harper or bust. If Bryce Harper didn't go off hitting multiple home runs in games or just going nuts in games, we lost the game most likely. Zach Wheeler, and I get crazy, Zach Wheeler was a stud in all season. But bruh, could you imagine how much better he would have been if we had more than just Bryce Harper as his run support? Like, bruh, I love Gene Segura. I like our catcher, even though he had a down year, JT Realmuto. But, bro, I'm just looking at this Braves team that just won a World Series without their best player. And it's not just their best player. Like, Ronald Acuna Jr., like I said, is one of the top 5 players in baseball. Easily their best player on that team. And they got Ozzie Albies. Like, every single position on that team is stacked. Dansby Swanson. I swear to you, every fucking player on the Atlanta Braves made a play. Every player in that lineup at some point in time made a play for them in the World Series, bro. It's ridiculous. It just showed me how well that team is managed compared to how poorly the Phillies are run and managed at this moment. But that was baseball talk. Congratulations to the Atlanta Braves on winning the World Series. I didn't give a fuck who won the World Series, to be completely honest with you. If the Astros had won it, it wouldn't have been bad to me, because Dusty Baker was their skipper over there and he black, so I would have rooted for him. And I like Carlos Correa. But I kind of did want the Braves to win a little bit more because Ronald Acuna is a champion now. So I'm always going to root for young black men to be champions. Even though he didn't play in it, he would have been a big part of them winning this shit, because Ronald Acuna will return to being a top 5 player. It's just how I feel about Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is my favorite player in baseball. I'm pissed off that the Dodgers cost him another championship, but my man got 2 of them bitches, bro. So, if you're a black man and you don't watch baseball and you want to find a way to root for somebody in baseball, just find the best black players in baseball. Ronald Acuna Jr., you can root for him. He don't won a championship this year, even though he was hurt throughout it. Jorge Soler hit a fucking nuke. Now, Jorge Soler is not like African American, you would say, because he's a foreign, but he's black. You know what I'm saying? Even when you from another country, if you got my skin, you my kin. You dig? So, Mookie Betts, I'm just naming some great players out there for you to like. But that was baseball talk. Congratulations to the Atlanta Braves on winning the World Series. Shout out to them. Maybe now, fucking MLB The Show put some usable fucking content on the game or something like that. Like, motherfuckers haven't put a good Freddie Freeman. Man, that's neither here nor there. Y'all motherfuckers don't watch this for baseball. But that's all I want to say, because that had popped up on my thing. But heading back to the Monday night game, because we done hit a lot of fucking games. And just to make sure if you didn't get it when I was talking about that Colts game, the Colts ended up losing that game to the Titans. I think I made that very clear in that. But just for those of you who might not have been too clear on that. And when I was talking about the Falcons and them like fucking themselves up because you got to be picking up wins before Russ get back, I say that because the fucking Jags lost this weekend to the Seahawks. They had what's this man's name, man? They had Geno Smith looking like an actual competent starting quarterback for a while because of how just absolutely bad the Jags are. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And I'm going to keep saying it, bro. The Jags have done Trevor Lawrence a huge disservice. It is what it is. There's no way you can't see that. This has been a mighty disservice to Trevor Lawrence, hiring Urban Meyer and all the other goofballs they hired. I don't know if Trevor Lawrence going to survive this. I hope he do. I hope they fire Urban Meyer next year or this year. Like, the longer you prolong this and make Trevor Lawrence succumb to this, it's going to be bad. But I will say this. The Bengals, even though they lost this weekend, I don't think their coach is a good head coach. And they quarterback, Joe Burrow, because he was Joe Burrow this weekend. He wasn't Joey Burrow this weekend. He was just Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow make him look good. So if Trevor Lawrence really, he could end up making Burrow look good. But you got to remember, Trevor Lawrence ain't got the weapons that fucking Joe Burrow got over there in Cincinnati. So even though I think the Jags could probably be a good running team if they committed to running the fucking ball, because you can't throw the ball obviously right now when you don't have great pass concepts. Your offensive coordinator not really doing you no favors. Your head coach is a bozo. Your receiving core not really that great, if that. So a lot of different things, man. I don't feel bad for no millionaires, but Trevor Lawrence is definitely at a disadvantage right now in the situation he in. It really don't make no sense, bro. Like, they could have hired anybody, and they chose to hire. Incompetence, man. Incompetence. But look. I wanted to go back to Carson Wentz for a second, because if you watch the Pat McAfee show, this dude Ty said, at this point, man, the dude's just a fucking moron. And that's exactly how I'm starting to feel about Carson. Because Carson, bro, like, cause I really wanted to hammer this home, man. Like, it's just, you don't have to make every play, bro. And then there's plays where you know you don't have, like, he threw a shovel pass right to it that got picked off a couple weeks ago, I believe, or something. Like, man, it's just weird to me, the plays, the bad plays that Carson and Patrick willing to make. It's crazy. And both of them got Super Bowl rings, so that might be the common denominator. Even though Carson didn't play a part in the actual winning the Super Bowl, he had a part in them getting there, because he was MVP until he got hurt. But, man, it's crazy to see how both of them dudes play, bro. It's crazy. But we didn't talk about the Bengals and the Lions. We didn't talk about the Eagles and the Bengals and the Lions. We didn't talk about the Bengals and the Jets. We didn't talk about the Eagles and the Lions. I guess we could talk about... Nah, we gonna wait. We could talk about the Rams and the Texans, but it's not really much to talk about that. I want to talk about this 49ers game real fast. I picked the 49ers to beat the Bears. But, like the 10,000 sniffle. But I watched some of this game, then I went and watched the highlights. Yo, Justin Fields is going to be the answer for that team. Listen, you gotta ignore the struggles that he have right now. The reason I know this motherfucker gonna be it, because he made some plays in that game that let me know this motherfucker is going to be the quarterback of the Chicago Bears. For one, he kind of elusive in the pocket like Deshaun Watson. Like, he really reminded me a lot of Deshaun Watson throughout this game. Now, he might not got the arm that Deshaun Watson got. Deshaun Watson got a pretty good arm. But I think Justin Fields got a pretty good arm, too. And what I like about the Bears is they wasn't just running a whole bunch of dink and dunk short routes. Now, if they did call some better fucking routes for him, let me change that. The Bears don't call a great offensive game. Justin Fields made a lot of big plays on improvising, though. That's one of the things that let me know a quarterback can be better than his circumstances, because Justin Fields, though they didn't win Sunday, he outplayed his stats and his the bad coaching and shit. Like, he made some plays in that game that was just big time plays. If the field goal kicker don't fucking miss the field goal, you probably the defense probably played a whole different way or whatever. But Kyle Shanahan's a great offensive coordinator. I said that multiple times. I know, and I expected Jimmy G to have a decent game in this one. Jimmy G an interesting player, because the dude could make an absolutely what the fuck throw, and then on the same drive make a what the fuck throw. Like, it's absolutely insane. I don't think you win games with players that's that inconsistent. Like I say, bro, when you inconsistent on drive to drive, or you inconsistent on play to play in the drive, you got a problem. But what I took from this game wasn't necessarily the win for the 49ers. More so it was, I like this Justin Fields kid. Like, I'm going to watch another game of him this year. I'm going to make sure I watch a full game. I want to watch them play against a good team, though, because I want to see how he played. Like, because it would be easy watching dudes play against bad teams, even though the Lions got their ass whooped this weekend by the Eagles, and I couldn't tell you how the fuck that happened, because Jalen Hurts didn't even throw for 103 yards, so barely 100 yards, and it don't even be looking good. Like, the play calling for the Eagles is atrocious, bro. These motherfuckers, somebody need to send this podcast to them motherfuckers, or just clip out this part that I'm finna say for like a million fucking time. Yo, the Eagles are making it way harder on themselves than it's got to be. You don't, for one, you have the weapons because you have good offensive receivers on the side. Like, and Devontae Smith, to me, is a number one receiver if you give him the opportunities. You have a decent defense. The problem is you can't score points consistently against the good teams and the good defenses. But if you just ran the same fucking plays that they was running over there in Cleveland or any of these other teams that's running, like, the interesting thing about Cleveland is they are a dink and dunk check down type of team, screen pass team too. But Kevin Stefanski actually can take it a little bit further because he incorporated a lot of the play action that get his guys open. If that same system was played with a Jalen Hurts, it would be better because Jalen Hurts is not the most accurate quarterback. He don't throw guys open. He don't really read defenses great. That's why you need an offense like the Browns or like some of these other teams that don't have great quarterbacks run to protect your quarterback. You give them the easy throws. You give them throws that's wide the fuck open. That's what play action and that type of shit do. They making this shit so hard for themselves, bro. I don't understand it, bro. And I see they do the 1, 2, 3 routes and all this goofy shit. Listen, y'all making this shit. I don't care about none of that. They making this shit way harder than it got to be. I already said I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to be the quarterback long term for them. But while he is here, I don't understand why we not trying to maximize his talent. Like, I just think they doing themselves a huge disservice, bruh. Like, struggling to move the ball every fucking week when they just... I don't get it. But they beat the shit out of the Lions, so... Which is to be expected at this point, man. The Lions fucking suck. The Lions really, truly, I truly believe the Lions are going to go 0-17 this year. And then that'll get Dan Campbell ass something to really go fucking cry about. And I knew they was going to go 0-17 once that motherfucker was crying. When they was like 0-4. Like, bruh, you can't be serious. You can't be serious. This is not the sport where I need my head coach. And not the time of the season, my boy. Like, what are you doing? So that was weird to me, but hey, I'm not judging. I'm not saying it's bad to cry. Just in the situation and in the moment he chose to do it was a little bit ridiculous to me. That's all I'm saying. But the Lions fucking suck, man. The Lions fucking suck. It's amazing to me that they fired Jim Cobb. We're not going to be spending too much time on the Lions. The only reason the fucking Lions get attention is because I want to make sure they lost. But it's funny that they fired Jim Caldwell, haven't been good since. That's neither here nor there. You can go look that up on your own. But Dolphins, Bills, bro. The Bills lost 11-26. The Bills. So, they didn't trade for Deshaun Watson at the break. I'm pretty sure it didn't help your quarterback that he constantly was being told he might be traded. And shit, for all we know, they could end up trading him in the offseason for all we know. But Tua Tagovailoa, I didn't watch this game. I'm going to just go ahead and tell you that right now. I didn't even watch the highlights or the stats. This is a broad talking about where these teams are after the win and loss and before. The Dolphin season obviously was over. They hadn't lost, one game this season. They season was over a couple weeks ago. The Bills. This is the first bad team. They didn't really put their foot in their ass, but they was coming off of a bye week, I believe. So, listen, man. The Bills are a great team. I'm not gonna put too much into this game because I know the Bills are a great team. I know the Bills gonna be there in the end. What's interesting is the Chiefs might not make the playoffs this year. The Chiefs are actually a bad team all around. It ain't just the defense now. It's the offense too. The offense turned the ball over at a high clip. The Chiefs might not make the Super Bowl. Might not make the playoffs. That means the AFC gonna either be, this is gonna be one of these young quarterbacks coming through the things now. Either Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Joe Burrow is going to the Super Bowl. Book it. You heard it here. Either Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Joe Burrow is headed to the Super Bowl this year. I'm just telling you right now. Now, if this motherfucker Patrick Mahomes make a resurrection and go to the Super Bowl, I'm done. I'm done, bruh. That shit won't make no sense to me, bruh. That shit would be crazy if them motherfuckers got off the canvas and picked themselves up and got to the Super Bowl. That'd be some bullshit, actually. Bro, Okay, no, that's not my game of the week. I gotta figure out which one of these is gonna be Saints game of the week, man. I was finna say it might be this Chargers game, but nah, it's not this Chargers game. I did watch this. Mac Jones didn't really ball out this game after me giving him credit last week, but the bigger story in this one for me is Justin Herbert. Boy, did the Ravens give them the I don't think it's I'm not even gonna keep going on that one. I was gonna say some bullshit. Listen, I think you gotta remember Justin Herbert is still a young quarterback, bro. You still gotta remember that he's still a young quarterback. It's just his second year. I saw the stat that the Patriots the first team to beat this motherfucker twice. But listen, that's what Bill Belichick do to rookies, bro. We done seen it too many times. We see him keep murking the rookies on the fucking Jets. I mean, but I'm not worried about Justin Herbert. More so, I would be worried about the head coach and shit like that. Like he gonna have to tighten up and shit like that. I know I got a good quarterback. I know I got a good offense. Now it's time for us to tighten up. Don't lose your grip, because the Raiders already done took first place in the division and they going through some shit right now. So if the Raiders continue to plow ahead and keep their blinders on and continue to remain focused through all this, you know what? The Raiders could be a team that get to the Super Bowl too. Let me put that in there. Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Them the 4 quarterbacks. One of them 4 quarterbacks is going to the Super Bowl this year in the AFC. So book it. One of them 4 quarterbacks is making their first trip to the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is not getting to the Super Bowl this year in the AFC. I'm ready to say that now. But if the Raiders continue to do what they doing, the Chargers gonna have to make up some ground, especially with the Chiefs. The Chiefs barely beating the bad teams, but they beating the bad teams. So the Cardinals better hop on their horse, man. they better hop on their horse. They got to play the Chiefs again, so maybe that's and you know what's funny? I think the Chiefs, if they play the Raiders or the Cardinals again, I think that's an L for the Chiefs both times. I don't think the Chiefs better than neither one of them teams, but you can't completely count Patrick Mahomes out yet. He is throwing the ball. He is turning the ball over at a high clip, but I ain't ready to count them motherfuckers out just yet, even though I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl. A lot of shit can change if the Chargers continue this downtrot, because you got to beat the Patriots. That's a team that you got to beat. Now, with that win for the Patriots, the Patriots put themselves in good position to make a wild card over the Bengals. I mean, not the Bengals, over the Browns or the Steelers. Because I thought the Steelers or the Browns would be one of the 2 teams that make the wild card. More so the Steelers, because I think the Browns are going to miss the playoffs altogether. At least that's wishful thinking. At this point, it's not even wishful thinking. It's just about to be a reality. But Mac Jones didn't really look great. I done said multiple times, Mac Jones to me, he reminded me a lot of Matt Ryan in the sense that, was it Matt Ryan that I said? Like I know a lot of people gonna say he a game manager, but he made some throws the last 2 weeks that I like, that show me that they opened the playbook for him. He can be more than just a game manager. Now look, he might ultimately be a game manager. I haven't seen him have to put the team on his back and go get the win, or I haven't seen him do it. Like, I done seen Lamar, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and these dudes. Like, I'm not naive, bro. I'm not gonna say, if they haven't won a Super Bowl, I don't know if they can win game. That's so fucking stupid. But I just haven't. And he a rookie too, but I haven't even seen him in these couple games. So it's interesting, because the Patriots are a better team than I thought they would. Matt Judon, my boy, is over there balling. Obviously, he used to be a Baltimore Raven. I'm happy he having success. I know Donovan Mitchell call him dude with the red sleeves. But he over there balling for the Patriots. The Patriots defense look good. Bill Belichick, man, I was talking shiesty on him a couple weeks ago, man. I got to give him his credit. It's nothing against Bill, bro. I just think he was holding Tom Brady back at the end of the day, bro, seeing how much better Tom played. Because, look, Tom Brady, this is another thing that I want to talk about. These offensive play callers, the way they protecting quarterbacks by calling all these dink and dunk plays and shit like that, and it's never progressing to play action or going up and down the field. It's just legit dink dunk, dink dunk, dink dunk. That's ridiculous, bro. Bro. For one, more turnovers are happening like that now, because you're throwing guys off of their routes and shit like that by these. It's just, you see a lot of dudes not being able to make these plays now, and they're getting bobbled up into picks and shit like that, because I don't understand the notion that, let's nickel and dime our way all the way up the field. That shit just has not worked to win a Super Bowl. No team that's doing all that dinking and dunking and won a Super Bowl doing it, except for Tom Brady and the Patriots. And even that motherfucker was going up and down the field when he had to with Gronk and them. Like, that's another thing I want to address. I done said a lot of times that I thought Tom Brady and them was just dinking and dunking in New England, and Brady and was being held back by Belichick and the play calling. And yeah, they were. But I have been made aware that, well, Tom Brady was great when he had Randy Moss and Gronk and them. Obviously, it's hard to those type of players supersede the playbook. They're better than the plays that you can call because they are naturally great. So Tom Brady and them dudes gonna make magic happen. They don't need a playbook to make magic happen. But for those dudes who are not on that level, like Dinkin and Duncan made y'all motherfuckers think Julian Edelman is a Hall of Famer. Julian Edelman is not a Hall of Famer. Julian Edelman is not a top 20, 40 fucking wide receiver. He was great in the playoffs, but I could plug in a lot of fucking receivers with Tom Brady and give them y'all, bruh. Tom Brady in that offense had y'all thinking Julian Edelman was a Hall of Famer. Julian Edelman is not a Hall of Famer. He's not on the level of a Julio Jones. You can name receivers who wasn't in the Hall of Fame yet who's better than Julian Edelman, bro. To say Julian Edelman in the Hall of Fame would just be biased and you being a Tom Brady fan and shit like that. I'm not gonna get caught up in that buffoonery. That's just absolute buffoonery. But fucking the Patriots look way better than I thought. That was a huge win for them on Sunday to beat the Chargers, bro. Like I said, that put them in a great position to get one of them wild card slots. And hey, if Bill Belichick made the playoffs this year, man, you're not gonna probably hear me say nothing else about that, man, because that'll be big. In my opinion, that'll be big. The Rams beat the Texans. I guess we gotta address this real quick. 38-22. Listen, the Texans season was over. It been over. It was over before the season even fucking started, when they chose not to trade Deshaun Watson. Now you got to sit through, if you're a Texan fan, you got to sit through this bullshit, and you got to reap the bullshit of what the Texans have sown. Like I said, you can blame Deshaun Watson, you can blame the Texans. At the end of the day, your team sucks, baby. And blaming Deshaun Watson ain't gonna get no wins on that board no quicker. This is what you gotta understand, man. Listen. So I made the thing where I said, listen, they traded J.J. Watt when he asked to be traded. Now, you could say, well, J.J. Watt wasn't as good, though, boy. I agree. But they knew J.J. Watt could no longer provide anything for that team. He mentally wasn't there no more, blah, blah, blah. They knew he was checked out. If you knew J.J. Watt, the heart of that team for so long was checked out, who have a bigger emotional investment than Deshaun Watson had, but when he asked to be traded, now, yeah, you obviously know he can still provide a lot for your team, but he's no longer there. He's mentally checked out. Why do you keep that on your team to poison the locker room, to poison the team? Like, what? Hey, business decision they made, I think it was a bad business decision. But as long as they got people come to the stadium, they don't give a fuck. So, hey, the bottom dollar rules everything. The Broncos lost to the fucking Washington Redskins. The Washington football teams. I don't know why I keep calling them motherfuckers that today. Blame it on the sickness. We're not going to talk about that game a lot. The Broncos won that. I'm surprised they won that. It was a bad game. Listen, I want to say something. Just because these games is low scoring don't mean it's great games, and it don't mean that the defense balling. It mean that these teams is offensively challenged, bro. I just watched the Jaguars struggle against the Seahawks. The Seahawks was one of the most historically bad defenses up until last week when they played against a Steelers team who also couldn't score against them. Like, there's a lot of offensively challenged teams this year, which is why I'm very confused on why Cam Newton still doesn't have a job. But hey, whatever. The Bucks and the Saints, bro. I wanted to get to this game. So the Bucks lost this game 27-36. Tom Brady turned the ball over a couple times in this game. This is the Saints Super Bowl every year, bro. Now, I don't want to get on here and I ain't want to disrespect the Saints and shit like that because I like Jameis Winston. And Jameis Winston tore his ACL. You wouldn't have known in the locker room with him dancing and shit on the crutches. So I guess, like I heard Pat say, it was no more damage that could be done. So I guess that was a sign that, yeah, it was a tear. But he going to be out for the rest of the season. Taysom Hill is concussed, so I don't even think he playing right now. So I think Simeon was the dude who got the win for them on Sunday, and he'll be playing going forward. Simeon was the dude who started for the Broncos after Peyton. And I can't even remember that other quarterback they had for a little bit after Peyton, aside from Simeon. It was that other dude who was kind of tall. He was a turnover machine. He got paid a big contract off of a little bit of work, I believe. I think it was Osborne or something like that. Either way, the Saints won this game. This is the Saints Super Bowl, bruh. It just is what it is. They act goofy as hell in the locker room after they beat the Bucs since the Tom Brady that came over, bruh. These motherfuckers Super Bowl, bruh. Because we know they're not going to the Super Bowl. We know when they get to the playoffs. Because let me say, I never said Sean Payton was a bad head coach. I said Sean Payton's not the offensive coordinator that people keep, the offensive guru that people. Two different things. He's clearly a good head coach because his team should not be 5-2 yet they're 5-2 and they got a great defense. This motherfucker is not a great offensive coordinator. I saw this game. Listen, for one, I'm not gonna keep doing this, bro. If you look at the fucking games, you can see. Now, I don't know how they keep finding ways to blow out the Bills. I mean, beat the shit out of Tom and these, but they do. But when the playoffs roll around, I already know what the outcome's going to be. That's going to be a different Tom Brady. You might even beat Tom Brady the second time you play him. Because this is the Saints Super Bowl, like I said. They act like like they just won a championship in the locker room every time they beat the Bucs, bro. They act like they've never been there before. And when you haven't been to a Super Bowl in so long, I get it. Drew Brees was a young man when they got to that Super Bowl and Reggie Bush was on the team. Deuce McAllister probably was still on the team at the time. Like, fucking, I'm not going to say that dude's name. I'm not going to say the other dude. Jonathan Vilma was on the team. But the dude who I wasn't going to say, he's in prison now, but he was on the team. But so, I guess I can understand you acting like you haven't been there. Because a lot of the dudes on the team weren't there in that time. Now, it might be dudes on the team who don't want Super Bowls. I'm not finna go through all the dudes on that team and try to figure out which dudes was on Super Bowl teams and shit like that in the past. All I know is this current Saints team, and the Saints ain't been to the Super Bowl in an eternity. And every time they done beat the Bucs since the Bucs got Tom Brady, they act like this is the fucking Super Bowl they just won. To me, it's embarrassing. You act like you done been there, please. Like, I saw Raven fans get mad at the Bengals for how they was acting when they beat us. That was nothing compared to how the Saints act when they beat the Bucs, bro. The motherfuckers legitimately act like they just won a Lombardi, bro. It's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. But the Saints got that win. It was a big win for them, especially since all the shit that I've been talking about Sean Payton on the podcast this year. So, hey, it is what it is, man. They got the win. That didn't change my thoughts on Sean Payton offensive play calling at all. It didn't even change my thoughts on the Saints. I look at this game as a weird game. Brady has been bad against the Saints since he's gotten there. It's a weird occurrence. It's very weird. Do I think the Saints will beat them when they make the playoffs? No, I do not. I do not think the Saints will get out of the first round of the playoffs if they make it. When they make it, because they should make it. Because they're gonna be one of the wild card teams. They will not make it out of the wild card. I'm just telling you what I know. And the Raiders just released Henry Ruggs, so yeah, his career is over. I just got a notification that just came through to say Henry Ruggs is just been released from the Raiders. So yeah, that's probably his career. If you're a praying person, you should pray for him. Pray for him to get help instead of shitting on him and throwing them away so fast. I know that's in this society, that's what everybody gonna want to do. And I'm not, listen, I do not condone drunk driving. I do not condone drunk driving. And he killed somebody. That's even worse. That's even worse. But I'm gonna tell you what's not gonna make the situation no better. Throwing shade and hating and calling them names and all this type of shit. I'm pretty sure ain't nobody feeling worse about the situation right now than Henry Ruggs. Football is second right now. It's not even second. It's nowhere near in his review. I'm pretty sure when this happened, he probably thought that the football was over for him, but he haven't thought about football ever since. This is bigger than that. So just pray for him, man. Pray for him that he get the help that he need, man. Even if he got to serve time in prison for it, just pray he get the help he need, and pray for the family of the victim who lost a daughter, a sister, a mother, or that woman could have been anything. And they said she was 23. She was 23 and lost her life just because a dude decided to go drinking and driving. Hey, pray for both situations, man. It's an ugly situation all the way around. Hope that he get the help that he need. Hope that the family who lost, a loved one, man, get the closure and solace that they need and deserve. So, just like I said, ugly situation all the way around. But getting back to football real fast, even though I know it's hard to talk about something like that and then hop back to football. But we gonna do it anyway, baby. Cowboys, Vikings, bruh. Cowboys, Vikings. This, for one, I did not realize that Dak injury was as serious as it was. Dak didn't even fucking play in this game, which made this game very hard to watch because Kirk Cousins, this was a game the Vikings should have won. There's no two ways around it. Fucking Dak's not playing. The Vikings should win this game. Cooper Rush is a rookie who's not started before. There's no fucking reason the Vikings should have lost this game. Listen, to me, the Dallas defense get better every week. I like everything about the Dallas team right now. No fucking way they should win this game against a Vikings team with Kirk Cousins and all these dudes healthy. This was crazy because the Vikings play the Ravens this upcoming Sunday, and that's what's got me thinking, like, how much better is that? Dallas defense clearly better than the Ravens defense. How much more better is they? Because I just watched Carson Wentz go off against our defense and make Lamar put on the cape. I just watched our defense bullshit against the Bengals. They just didn't show up that day. The fucking Vikings, as bad as Kirk Cousins is in these big games, this ain't going to be no primetime game, I don't believe. Also, he got Justin Jefferson. The play calling for the Vikings is atrocious. It seemed like it get worse and worse with every offensive coordinator that Mike Zimmer seemed to lose. But, listen, I don't know. The fucking Ravens defense going to show me a lot. They going to either prove to me tenfold what I've already been thinking and suspecting, or they're going to show me that they're not as bad as I've been thinking. Because if they let Kirk Cousins come in and light their asses up, which I can really see happening with Justin Jefferson and some of these dudes, especially with Marlon Humphreys, who I said on the podcast multiple times, he looks good. He plays good, but it's just sometimes he get beat on just ridiculous. And when he get beat, he get beat. And man, it's a problem. That's why I was telling people, like, nah, I love Marlo. He's not better than Jalen Ramsey. And it's a couple cornerbacks I would take over Marlo just for the simple fact they can get interceptions. Like, as good as Marlo is, he's not the greatest cover corner in the NFL. I wouldn't even put him as a top 5 cover corner in the NFL. And I'm not shitting on Marlo after one game. If you've been listening to the podcast, I've been saying the same thing about Marlo all year. But like I said, Marlo still got room to grow. He was thrusting it. He was great so early. You put these expectations on great players. It's just all it is. But he gonna be better, bro. I have no doubt about that. I'm not concerned about the Ravens secondary. I'm concerned about the Ravens linebacking core in front that can't put no pressure on quarterbacks. But the Vikings losing this game, and then it was 20-16. The Vikings are embarrassing, man. At this point, you probably do have to fire Mike Zimmer. I mean, I don't know how many excuses you can make for him to keep him on this team. I don't understand how Kirk Cousins still the quarterback of this team at this point. So let's put it like this. He put up all these empty calorie stats all he wants to and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the season, if you keep getting knocked out in the playoffs, and the only time you win in the playoffs is against the Saints, and other than that, you just don't go to the playoffs. When are we going to say Kirk? Because Kirk done had a lot of great weapons now that I'm thinking about it. Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Cook, like Rudolph for a while. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Kirk Cousins at some point in time got to get the shit done. Like, the same Kirk Cousins that couldn't get it done in Washington, I was watching the rookie year of RG3 get it done. Like, RG3 was killing in his rookie year with them same weapons. So, that's just me, personally. When it comes to Kirk Cousins, not really feeling Kirk no more. It's just, to me, it's hard to explain how you can't get it. I just don't understand how you don't. Kirk Cousins should have been able to lift his team up to get that win, and he couldn't. And it was very obvious he couldn't. So, it's hard to see that if you're a Vikings fan. I'm not a Vikings fan, so I don't know why I'm acting like it was hard for me to see it. But for a Viking fan, I imagine that was a tough one for you to sit there and watch. Because, like, Jesus Christ, bro. If we can't beat the Cowboys, if you can't beat the Cowboys when they don't have Dak, I don't imagine you're going to be even nowhere near close to beating them motherfuckers when they have Dak. Like, that was a rough one if you're a Vikings fan. Their season's over. I'm pretty sure they're not making the playoffs or the wild card. Too many good teams in the NFC, bro. Just way too many good teams in the NFC. And with that, This one was shorter than usual. This one was a little bit weirder than usual. This one happened because, listen, I was supposed to say Happy Halloween in this one. The slides is going to look like Halloween slides because I was not finna just waste all them Halloween slides, all the work I had to put. Because these slides take a lot of work. Now, I'm not on here to talk about all the work I put in this. When you got a dream, it's going to take work. I'm not on here to talk about the work. I have no problem. It's not work when I enjoy it. But I'm saying I'm not wasting that work that I did on nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to just sit in the archives. That's going to definitely be on this thing. It's going to be a Halloween theme. I could care less that we're past Halloween. I was sick on Halloween. Couldn't release the episode on Halloween. So I'm releasing it now, motherfuckers. So, happy Halloween. And I'm probably going to be right back in this motherfucker tomorrow. Because I got to break down the games of the week. And I got another podcast to do the Quote the Raven podcast this week. So I got to do a Quote the Raven podcast this week. I got to do another Kicking It with Saint podcast this week. And I'm supposed to have done a Wrestling with Saint podcast this week. I'm behind, man. This illness been kicking my ass, bro. But I appreciate you for joining me tonight. I appreciate you for joining me today, this evening, whichever point in time you're watching this video. Tell somebody you fuck with them. You fuck with them heavy. It's going to change your day. I promise you. But like I said, man, I appreciate you for joining me. Like the video, subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel, share the channel, man. It might be some motherfuckers out there looking for a new podcast, man, and you can hook them up, man. You can be like, yo, I know a young dude who getting into the podcasting business, man. He real knowledgeable of the shit he talk about. He real truthful about the shit he talk about. He don't really hold no bars. He talk a lot of shit. He go in on his team too. You gotta check that motherfucker out. Plus, he talk about all the teams. Now, you got to tell them that I'm not going to be talking about them sorry teams no more, bro. We done got to the part of the season, like I said, where we're not talking about them no more. And I'm also thinking about starting an NBA podcast. The problem is that podcast would not start until the All-Star break because I made it very clear on here. I do not watch NBA basketball until the All-Star break. Biggest reason for that is because I'm not going to watch NBA basketball while the season's going, but I'm happy Steph Curry and the Bulls are balling. Well, Steph Curry and my Warriors are balling, but also Lonzo Ball and the Bulls are balling. But not going to be sitting down watching games and breaking that shit down. But I do plan on starting a pod. Maybe I'm going to get somebody to help me when it comes to that. Because it's a lot. I know a lot about basketball, but I'm not going to lie. I haven't been watching that shit the last couple. I watch it, but I don't watch it as much. And there's other motherfuckers who I know watch the game as much as me. It's just a matter of if they watch it to watch it, if they watch it and learning shit, or is they just watching it for pure entertainment. Because if you're just watching it to be entertained, you're not learning shit. You just legit there to be entertained. But like I said, for like the third time, I appreciate you for joining me on the podcast. It's been a minute, but we back. And I appreciate you for coming back. Saint is. Whoa. Wait a minute. Before we leave the video, I gotta make sure I say this. I need you. My bad, I was reading something. But yeah. Before we exit out of the podcast, because I had wrote something down. I was reading something, but I had to make sure I wrote this other clip down. That's neither here nor there. But I had to make sure I got this before I run it. Yeah. So before we leave the podcast, it was a thing that I had saw about Odell Beckham's dad coming out and speaking on Baker Mayfield and showing like a video of that. Yeah. I had wrote that down. I wanted to address that before I left the podcast. I'm usually not a fan of family members coming out and speaking on professional athletes. I think because that get professional athletes in a world of trouble and put them in situations they didn't have to be in. In this situation, I'm not too mad at it, man. Like I said, there's a lot of people out there defending Baker Mayfield and throwing Odell under the bus like this man is just trash all of a sudden. And if I'm Odell's father, I'm not having that shit either, bro. Like, I know my son's not trash, bro. I know my son's not trash. Baker is, though. Baker Mayfield is trash. As a matter of fact, I'm about to retire Baker Mayfield, bro. I saw somebody on Twitter the other day say Baker Trashfield. That's exactly what I'm about to start calling him. Baker Trashfield is the problem. Like I said multiple times, he's got you fellas and ladies fooled. Baker is the problem, not Odell. Have a great day. Saint out.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver, pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so